Just waiting for some folks to join. If anybody decides to join, I just wanted to go over, give you a little update, do a little creating, show you what I've been up to. So, just trying to get this all settled and ready and just show you what I'm working on and give a bit of an update. So, this is kind of the spur of the moment, and I'll wait for some folks to join. I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday and looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, it's been really busy here and in the household, and yeah. So this is my newest little custom build. Just it's actually a kit bash and maybe a little bit of a scratch build. A lot of it's Dollar Tree material and some push pins, and as you can tell, this is a golf ball from the Dollar Tree. Some Q-tips and some odds and ends, and this is just a little rifle blaster piece. Dollar store toy pieces, and this is some styrene. So yeah, just wanted to scratch build and play around a little bit. But yeah, we're 2 minutes in. I've got a couple folks watching, so I wait for some more folks to join if any more actually do join. And hello Elwood, DD, thank you for watching. Thank you. And I just yeah, it's just a little quick kit bash from the Dollar Tree. I just wanted to play around and see what I could possibly create. So I just been eyeballing some bits and pieces, and maybe start doing some mech building and stuff like that. Hello Elwood, thank you for joining, and thank you for reaching out, and I appreciate you watching. So this is just here a little bit of a terrain piece I just started working on for this particular little model that I had built. And this is right here is just from the Dollar Tree, which is just you get 2 pieces of this obviously for $1, and you really can't go wrong. So it makes cute little displays. So that's what I went ahead and used here. So I think we'll go ahead and start doing a little detailing, and let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, that's way too much. Try to get a happy medium. Sorry for the shaky camera, but just trying to see if I can get a little. There we go. So I'm gonna paint this, and we're gonna see. I'm gonna paint it. I'm gonna make it like a muddy terrain, and I have some pieces here for debris and things like that, and see what we can come up with. This is just some texture paste, and this is foam and some texture paste over it. And I didn't glue it down very well because a lot of it is starting to, a lot of the rocks and debris I put in is starting to come up. But yeah, let's paint it, and we'll see where we go from there. So let me just find some. So we'll start with a nutmeg brown, and I got a little palette here from the Dollar Tree, and we'll just go in and do a little painting. So yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. I just wanted to give an update. Like I say, I didn't really advertise and show that I was gonna go live. So, but and it shows because I only have one person watching, which is completely fine. I appreciate that. And you and I will hang out for as long as you like to. So I'm just coming in here, and we're going to give it a darker brown. It's a nutmeg. And let me go with a bigger brush because that's going to take forever. And so we'll come in with a bigger brush, a little bit of water, and we'll just start painting. So yeah, so been real busy. Been went on vacation last week, if that's what you want to call it. It wasn't necessarily a vacation. We ended up driving down to Florida from Massachusetts, and that was I don't know why anybody would drive 20 hours when you can fly there, you know, in 2 hours, 2.5 hours. But we had to drive because my daughter moved to Florida. So we had to drive her car down and help her move in and get settled. So we were in Florida for a week doing that and tending to her and getting her settled. She's yeah, she's moving to Florida, my baby, but that's okay. She's a good girl, responsible, and I'm pretty happy about that. So yeah, just doing some nutmeg, and I appreciate the one person watching. I really do. And you can follow along and try to get an idea of my process. And I do want to start doing some more live builds and just some more live painting. And I do want to go live a lot more than what I have been. I want to be a little more active on my channel, and the only really good part about my daughter moving was I get my my old man cave back, so I'll have a larger space to set up some creativity and just a larger hobby space, and maybe actually more space to display things and things like that. So looking forward to that, setting all that up. Maybe get out of this small little studio area, but like, I've grown fond of this small place. Yeah, I'm just glad to have a place where I can just go and create and leave things sort of set up the way if I'm in the middle of a build. I used to build on my my dining room table when I lived in an apartment, and after every session I had to clean up. So the nice part of having your own space is you can leave it somewhat the way you left it and just come back to it at a later time, as opposed to just constantly cleaning it after every session. So even though my area is small, I do have that luxury to leave things mid-build. So yeah, but I just wanted to create something a little bit different. That's why I went ahead and I'll give you a closer look at this particular mech. So like I was saying, it's just a scratch build. I was actually able to keep the joints here moving and be able to kind of pose them. It kind of gives me the War of the Worlds vibe, if anybody's familiar with War of the Worlds. So yeah, pretty cool. It was fun to do, fun to build, and now just making a bit of a terrain piece for it. So that's what we're doing. Not really talking because I don't really have any nobody's watching currently, and I hit my and hello Stonebender, thank you for watching and commenting. Just going over a little bit of a build and things like that, and giving an update. So yeah, I'm just waiting for some folks to come in and maybe tag along for a little bit. Yeah, a little custom. Yeah, most of it's Dollar Tree little bits and pieces. Um, I guess I'm using some Sintra board for the legs, and then detailed it a little bit with some styrene and Dollar Tree little weapon. And this is from a hey Andrew, yeah, thank you for following. And I know I didn't give a much of a heads up, but I just wanted to touch base and show you folks what I'm working on a little bit. And just go live for a little while. And I really have to learn how to just give a heads up because, I actually don't really mind doing live with just one person watching. But yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, just a quick little Dollar Tree, little kit bash. So, yep. Stonebender, hello, sir. Thank you for watching the channel and coming along live here. So I just wanted to make a little terrain piece. You guys, if anybody's followed me long enough, know I love making smaller diorama displays. And this is just made out of some floral foam from the Dollar Tree. I had showed it earlier. And you get 2 of these for $1, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, you only start diorama making, Stonebender, you would thoroughly enjoy the hobby. And if you watch my past videos, I always say, create for you and really no one else, and create what you love and what you enjoy creating, and don't be really hard on yourself in the beginning, because we all make mistakes, and there's a little bit of a learning curve, but definitely not much of one. So you would do well, and you would enjoy it. And I just speak that from experience. And you don't have to be overly artistic to create really nice pieces for yourself and for your figures. And you can see how that texture paste kind of pops a little bit. And after, we'll get a little dry brushing, and like I say, I'll add some debris and some detail to this particular piece, and we'll see where it goes. Yeah, so like I say, I moved my daughter to Massachusetts. From Massachusetts to Florida, and my lord, it took like 21 hours. We did it in 2.5 days, and that was stressful. I'm not a big fan of the highways and things like that. They're just, especially when you combine it with the big semi trucks and things like that. They tend to drive a little crazy for my liking. I can't think of a much more dangerous place than the highways, honestly. Yeah, and going through New York was ridiculous. And we even left that night, and it was still ridiculous. I can't imagine how that place looks during the midday. So, yeah, but we moved her in, and then next week we moved my daughter into college. So I'm going to have an empty nest a lot sooner than I had anticipated, but that's okay. I'll enjoy my time with my wife. That's what happens with this apple barrel paint. If you let it sit for too long, it gets very chunky and stringy. So you'll run into that, and that's just a string of paint. 1/12 scale action figure. Oh, awesome. Yeah. What's your favorite scale to not scale, but what's your favorite line to collect? Marvel Legends, or what do you prefer? I pretty much collect any line that's within my budget, and if they create a figure that I love and I like, I buy it, regardless of the line. 1/12 scale dojo. That would be awesome. I have yet to do a dojo. That would be really cool to do. I have some Fush Toys ninjas, and I have the samurai, and that would a dojo would look really cool for that particular character, most definitely. So this is about painted, and got the initial layer down, so that looks pretty good. I'll be using some of this weathering effects from Vallejo. It's thick mud. I'm going to try to use a little bit of UV resin to try to create some puddles, and just try to give this environment a messy, sticky, kind of muddy terrain. So, hello Frank. Yeah, just wanted to touch base and show you a little bit of my process and some different things that have been going on. And thank you for watching and following along. I know I didn't give much heads up at all in regards to this live. It was kind of spur of the moment, so that's what we're going. I got an old cat tower. I want to do something with my cat. Hated it, so I just said, oh wow, carpeting. That would be cool. Hey, Mr. C, how you doing, sir? Thank you for watching. Just giving a little bit of an update, going live for a little bit, showing a little bit of a build, and just for you folks that just checked in, I just kind of kit bash this little custom made kind of War of the Worlds kind of vibe, little robot type of deal. So I'm just making a display for him, and just yeah, just giving the larger 1/12 scale dioramas a break, and just trying to be a little, you know, keep the creativity flowing. That's all. So that's what we're doing. So let me plug in my hot glue gun. Let's see what we get. Let's get that nice and hot so I can add some debris. So what I have going on here is I just have some like I-beams. So I just wanted the new Joe's Marvel Legends. Oh, nice. Only one Mezco. Yeah, I don't have a Mezco yet. Yeah, this one will be HasLab. Oh, Galactus is that one looks awesome. Expensive, but I think you kind of get your you're getting your money's worth. So just adding some, trying to get an idea of the details I want to add here. So I cut up all this I gave a sand so I can it takes the paint well, and I'm just trying to lay it out to where it looks somewhat cohesive, if that makes any sense. So yeah, but hello Doth Watsits. Hello there, sir. Thank you for watching and commenting. I really appreciate it. And actually, I probably should have painted this stuff earlier, but that's okay. We'll paint it. I'll paint it as I go along. Let me see if I can get this a little bit, not that close up. Oops, sorry about the bounciness of it. Wow, this thing is touchy. Is that better? I guess. Does that look better? A little closer. I'm doing well. I was just updating how we just moved my daughter to Florida, so I've been kind of away. And yeah, just it's really up close now. Up close and personal. So let me move this away a little bit so get you a better look. So yeah, just scratch built a little bit of a robot. I took a little inspiration from War of the Worlds and things like that. So yeah, just scratch. I just want to try my hand at scratch building, and the legs actually move. This is just some push pins and 95% of this is just Dollar Tree, just some Dollar Tree little toys and stuff. So, and I'm just making a little display for it here, and yeah. So I'm gonna start gluing this stuff in, and I know this is nothing, you know, like groundbreaking or anything like that. It's just a fun little project for myself, and I like to do things like this every now and then to keep the creativity, you know, going. So, but yeah, when I get overwhelmed with just larger builds, I like to build a little bit smaller. And this is just for me. It's just a little display piece. And like I say, create for yourself and create what you love to create and love what you love. And no matter what the masses follow and what they love. Um, whoop! I keep hitting this camera. But let me back off a little. See if I can. We'll leave it like that. So I got this glued in, and I'll give that time to set. And then I have some over here. I just cut up some brickwork a little bit, and now I'm just going to go in and maybe see if I can go in and kind of texture it a little bit with a little bit of sandpaper. Yeah. Thank God for creativity when it came to the lockdown. I agree with you. It really it really makes being home tolerable. I'm kind of a homebody anyway. I'm not. My favorite place to be is home, so it really didn't bother me too much. I mean, I miss my family. I miss seeing, you know, nieces, nephews, brothers, mom, dad. So that really took a toll on me, and especially when my brother passed about a month and a half ago. COVID took a lot of time away that I otherwise would have spent with my brother because we were very close. And yeah, Mr. C, yep. Especially, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about we drove my daughter to Florida because she moved to Florida. So we drove from Massachusetts to Florida, which was like a 21-hour trip. And the only thing I kept saying was, wow, there's no place like home. I just wanted it to be, yeah, agreed. Yeah. And, yeah, no, thank you, Duff. I appreciate that. Hello, Thomas Brock. How you doing, sir? Just updating folks and just doing a little bit of a live build. And it's not even really a build. It's just a little bit of terrain making and things. Oh, you live in Fort Lauderdale? It was Orlando. It was right outside of Kissimmee. So it used to be the old Disney program, Disney College program. She went just before COVID. She was doing the Disney program, and she fell in love with Florida. But she had to. They had to stop that early, and then she had to come home and ever since then, she just fell in love with Florida. She hates the New England weather and just wanted to. For me personally, I like to change the seasons. I enjoy. My favorite time of year is fall here in New England. It's beautiful. The weather is crisp and you don't get much better than that. Driving through Georgia on my temperature gauge, it was saying 100 degrees. I was like, dear Lord. It was crazy. And just the heat and humidity in Florida. Rained every day, thunderstormed every day. I guess you get used to it living there, but yeah. So, but yeah, we moved her down, and oh, I bet in Kentucky, that must be beautiful. Yeah, fall in Massachusetts is you can't get much better than that. Driving down the highway and seeing all the oranges and the reds and the leaves, and you know, I mean, I can do without the winter. I don't mind snow and I don't mind cold, The only time I really mind it is when I gotta leave my house and I need to be somewhere. So, but other than that, I mean, I'm good with a nice warm house and good company. But yeah, that's what she wanted to do. So yeah, she's right outside of Kissimmee, so in Florida, and she really loves it. So she's only 21, so I give her credit. She knows what she wants, and uh, you know, yeah. So she's moved away a lot quicker than what I did when I was a kid. So, but that's the idea. You want to? I'm just trying to think about how I want to lay these bricks down, and I don't really want to use hot glue, but I will, just to give it some means I don't have to worry about. Yeah, yeah. On Pigeon Key for 4 nights. Absolutely fantastic place. Where is Pigeon Key? I haven't heard of that. Is that in Florida? Forgive my forgive my not knowing. But so yeah, I'm just adding some bricks here with some hot glue. You just want to be random about it. You know. I'm sorry if I'm not catching your comments, I apologize. I'll see them again and I'll respond. I do apologize. That's the problem with live building is near Marathon. Okay. So it is in Florida. Okay. From Wales, UK. Oh, wow. Thank you for watching from United Kingdom. I appreciate that. It's the beauty of YouTube and live and the internet is you can connect with people from all over the place, which is pretty cool. So we got 5 folks watching, 4 likes, so that's cool. I know this isn't the most exciting build session or anything like that, but I just wanted to chat and catch up a little bit and just go over some things that's been going on. That's all. I like to try to keep everybody in the loop. I mean, normally I'm a very private person, but I don't mind sharing some details of my life and things like that. But especially with you folks, you know. But yeah. So just add them some brickwork, and so just to give you an idea of yeah, Thomas, 5 likes, woohoo, which is great. Yep, I'll take 5 likes. I'll take 6 folks watching. That's 6 more than I ever anticipated. Like when I started YouTube, I never expected to even crack 1,000 subscribers. And the subscriber count really isn't crazy important to me. It's just connecting, making friends, and sharing this wonderful hobby. Let me zoom out a little bit. No, I probably would prefer scenic glue. Actually, but because of doing this live, somewhat live, you know, I just want things to dry a little bit quicker. But otherwise, I would use scenic glue. It's just I like hot glue, but I think finding a good glue is half the battle in diorama. I hate using super glue. I think a lot of you have heard me say that before. And hot glue leaves all kinds of stringing, which is fine, no big deal. I pick up some of this multi-purpose cement from Dollar Store. Get a good tube of it. It works really well. Works good on plastic. Works good on foam. Just things like that. Yeah. But I would be currently using if I was doing this build, off camera, just hanging out down here in my studio, I would be using Mod Podge water mixture. That's usually my go-to. I'm just trying to get my camera set, guys. Sorry. So yeah, this is to give you an idea of kind of what I'm going for. That's all. Nothing crazy, nothing major. Just a little display for a first-time creation. But I'll glue them in, but I'll see what looks best in regards to So, do you prefer? Yeah, no. If you followed me for any time, you know I hate super glue. I can't tell you how many times I've stuck my fingers together, and I like Mod Podge, but it dries really quick. I'll tell you one glue I really enjoy using is this uh, hot wire foam factory styro glue. This stuff is great, and especially bonding foam. And it's not that expensive. I think I paid like $9.99 for this big bottle of, and I still have quite a bit left. But yeah, that's one of my favorite glues I use. Yeah, so right now I'm just using hot glue just because it dries pretty much instantly, and I don't have to leave you folks, waiting on a dry time or anything like that. But yeah, like I was saying, the lockdown completely sucked, and this whole COVID craziness sucks. But I don't think the lockdown affected me as much as it did other people, other than not being able to see my family. Because, like I say, I'm a homebody. I like being home. It gave me more time to create. It gave me more time to spend. Because my wife ended up working from home. My schooling and my kids' schooling was all online. So you kind of have to look at some of the positive aspects of lockdown and being home, and that's how I tried to treat it. I tried to look at the positive side of it, because if you just concentrate on the negativity and with my struggles anyway, I have to look things on a more positive side. So I spent more time with my wife. I spent more time with my kids, and no regrets, none whatsoever. So, but yeah, this whole COVID, I'm so over it. But unfortunately, it's still around, and it's still making a whole lot of people sick. Unfortunately, yeah, the world's just a crazy place right now. It's always been a crazy place, but it just seems so chaotic right now. But yeah, so that's kind of the idea that I'm going for. And I think I will add some sand and some. I'm just looking for my. If I showed you my desk right now, you guys be like, damn, you're a slob, brother. And once I get in the mojo of creating, actually, you do see my desk. What am I talking about? You see half of my desk. And that just gives you an idea of how I work. So, yeah. So I got just some bits and sand and stuff here. So I'm going to, I did this totally, to give you an idea, I did this ass backwards. Because all this here is going to be difficult to paint. But that's, seems to be how I do things. I make things more difficult for myself, which is fine. Because I always talk about enjoying the process of diorama making. I know when you're doing commissions, yeah, it is organized chaos for sure. I know where everything is, and my wife will come down and say, "Wow, you are a slob." I says, "Hey, I know where everything is. It's, leave me alone. It's my space." So yeah, it is organized chaos. So yeah, I just got some brickwork, some I-beams, some piping. Nothing crazy. So I'm going to add some of this debris. So I'm just trying to think of the best way I want to add it and to have it cure fairly quickly. This stuff here is Elmer's glue, and I picked up at the dollar store. It's purple, but it dries clear. And let me see about adding some of that. Let me shake it first. But just gives you, this is sometimes why I don't like to do live builds, because there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of time of just just thinking things through, you know, and drying time and things like that. So I appreciate you guys' patience, and the eight of you that are still watching. I do appreciate it. So let's. I guess this can be like some scenic glue, and I want to get the finest sand. So let me just come in. That gives you. Let me get my big hands out of the way here. Gives you an idea. Down goes the robot. So, and then the idea is just to go, you know, on top. And like I say, it dries clear. I've never used this stuff on terrain like this, so let's take a look and see how it works. I know a lot of times you want to add some IPA. So what I usually do is add water, IPA, and some Mod Podge, and I water all that down. The IPA gives a good allows the glue to absorb a little bit more into the piece, and it also doesn't help that this is pretty much rock hard, so it basically really isn't going to absorb into the foam because of the texture paste that is on here. So I started building 1/12 scale dioramas in between teaching biology, live from my garage. I'm there most nights by now, tinkering. Oh, good for you. Yeah, it's a fantastic hobby. Yep, even just sitting around and tinkering and just playing around like this. This to me is 100% relaxing. It's something. It's it's not a world shattering process or even a world shattering build. It's just, for me, it's my, I talk about all the time, it's my therapy, it's my quiet time. So like I say, my daughter's in Florida, my wife is traveling for work, my oldest daughter is babysitting, and I'm home alone. So rather than just sitting and watching television, I figured I'd go live and do a little bit of creativity. So, and this is what I love to do. So, and I share my reasons why I enjoy doing it. I'm not ashamed of why I do what I do, by any means. I'm not ashamed of my story. We all have a story. Not all of it is not all of it is roses, and you know, a lot of it's hard times, and through hard times, that's how we grow, and that's how we try to become a better person. You know, so without challenges and without, you know, somewhat pain, you know, it's hard to grow. It's hard to, you know, learn trust and faith and things like that. So, but yeah, I know this isn't why you guys tuned in from my perspective on things, but it's me in a nutshell. So just add in some more debris and get the rocks nice and glued in there. Yeah, it definitely. Oh, thank you, Mr. C. Yeah, and I share with you folks all the time how this hobby changed my life and gave me a healthy, positive outlet because of my struggles and my difficulties with my own personal mental illness and things like that. This hobby to me is like adding is better than any kind of therapy I could ever attend in the real world. This just settles my mind and allows me to escape for a little bit of time, and it's healthy. It's a healthy outlet. Just being creative, and you begin to discover certain things about yourself and how you begin to your creativity process and things like that, and which is really awesome. And Mr. C, if you're still here, I know you were saying that you saw my Terminator build and the broken wall, and that kind of got you started. And I mean, and look at the things you're building now. You know, you probably say to yourself that you came a long way, but you it's all a matter of learning what process works best for you, and you seem to be very well at home making larger pieces, where for me, I get very intimidated by larger pieces, and I kind of lose focus. So I try to keep my pieces to a single display, or that's for me. And I'll never, I won't say never, but I don't think I'll ever be able to create anything even remotely like your last piece. Yeah, no, I remember you were saying that, and your builds are, and I'm glad I had a little bit of part in that, but I absolutely love seeing your creativity, because and especially your stonework, and especially when you take the time and apply your washes, it's very satisfying to watch. Do you make your own homemade washes, or do you buy them store bought? Because those look like they flow really well. If you make them homemade, you definitely have a good recipe there. Because I've seen on Instagram, you would do a quick video of just applying wash to stonework, and it looks really really good. And yeah, so that's just to give you a little bit of an idea of this particular build. So I'm gonna come in with, I guess we'll start. I think what I'm gonna do is just use some watered. I'm just gonna use this. Of course, yeah. No, you know, you gotta give due. You gotta give people their due that really deserve it, and yeah, you're humble about it, and you can tell you put you're very passionate about it. So that's awesome, and it's awesome, that you enjoyed my work a little bit to uh, to be inspired and encouraged. And that's what I know. I'm not. There's so many better diorama makers out there than me, but if I could at least inspire you with what I do and things like that, and then to me it's well worth it. So I'm just going to come in and I'm going to base coat all of this with some nice. There's about 1 cup of water in a plastic cup, and with no sign. Oh, cool. Paint in, and then I squirt some brown paint and drop it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have a touch for that, because it looks awesome. I enjoyed those videos where you would go through and show when you applied the wash. It was, like I say, very satisfying to watch. It was cool, because it does bring a whole different dimension. A good wash to good stonework brings a great realistic dimension to your piece. It really allows things to pop and come together. So I made my homemade wash. I followed Black Magic Crafts recipe. For anybody that's familiar with that, that seems to be work for me. But I do have a hard time getting a good making a really good wash. So, but I refuse to spend the outrageous prices for a wash, and a lot of the washes that you can get are only for like miniatures. So I have been using a lot of your techniques with the last diorama. Oh, went to Dollar Tree and got some battery upgrade. Oh, cool. Awesome. And I think I'm going to start going back on Law Creations and Friends, because um, I do miss seeing other people's work, and for you guys that follow live and do your work, go over to Facebook page Law Creations and Friends, and join, and please share your work. I definitely would love to check it out, and yeah, I think we got 409 followers. It's not a very active group. There's usually 3 or 4 people that post and comment all the time, and that's usually Mr. Kent Poole, Greg Cook, Awesome Action Toys. he used to post a lot of his own videos that you could watch, but a lot of it is links to their YouTube channel, which is perfectly fine if you want to go on there and advertise and whatever you want to do. You want to show your work, you want a platform for selling some of your work, and you know, yeah, go over to Law Creations and Friends and please share your work. And show your builds, and no matter what level you're at, or it's a friendly environment. You won't find hopefully the idea is not to find the arrogance that some I don't know, pages or action figure community may I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I've been making it the same way since I'm actually going to be posting a Black Watch. Oh, cool. Are you posting it on Instagram? Because I'm really thinking about going back on Instagram, just sort of at a more, not as active as I used to be, or but because I do miss it. I do miss seeing other people's work and commenting and things like that. I think I had a good break from social media, and I think to an extent I'm ready to go back, because I think I can kind of limit my instant realism in the bottle. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Mr. C, are you on YouTube, or are you gonna post you're gonna post that on Instagram? Because I would love to see that, exactly how it's done, how you do it, because like I say, the realism that you capture with it, and just seeing it flow. Okay, that's right. I did subscribe to Imgur, and I have seen your builds on there. Liquid skill, yeah. It does take a skill. I mean, you can have it too watery, you can have it too concentrated, but the right kind of the right wash, it can really add realism to a piece. Even if you have, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can still be very, very effective. So, yeah. But I appreciate everybody watching. And I know this is kind of boring for you guys, but just chopping it up and talking to you guys is pretty basically what this is all about for me. So, it's just talking live and getting to know you guys a little bit better, and you guys getting to know me a little bit better. But if I can say anything about creating, and I know I say it all the time, create what you love, and don't base what you create on the likes and things like that, and don't always, likes don't always decide how a piece is. I see a lot of nice pieces. Well, I used to on Dio Structure, and they would be phenomenal pieces, but because they're not the scale certain people like, or things like that, they wouldn't get a lot of love. But that's okay. Now, like I say, create for you. You create for your reasons. You create what you love. You collect what you love, and never be deterred by criticism and things like that. I know since starting, I've been on YouTube, I think, for about 4 to 5 years. I've been on YouTube, and I've gotten a lot of. You get your share of trolls and things like that don't really have much nice things to say, and I don't expect everybody just to be, fall in love with my work. I'm open to constructive criticism. But when people just want to criticize and just be a jerk for no reason, and I kind of wear my feelings on my sleeves, and I used to take it personal, but I don't anymore. Well, it makes it easier to put life in my my crappy little builds. No liquid scale. I cannot disagree. Oh yeah, LOL. Yeah, I have only created dials for 112 scale, but I enjoy seeing 118 scale as well. Same techniques can apply. Yeah, absolutely. And to be honest with you, I really love 118 scale because for me they're small. They're a smaller build and they don't take as much time. And I like. And if you make a mistake, there's not a lot of waste as opposed to. So that's just. I'm just giving you guys an idea of. This is just a quick way to coat this particular Mr. C. Okay, yep. 50/50 on IG and Imgur. Yeah, I never heard of Imgur until you had turned me on to it, Mr. C. It is a pretty cool platform. How you can display your pictures, your process. You are very thorough in regards to your process, which is cool and I appreciate. And especially new folks that are new to dial making, you know, to see people's process and have it laid out in a detailed way can be and is very helpful. But I forget the gentleman that just said that his crappy little builds, but you know what? You keep creating those builds, and I guarantee you they'll get better. And if they don't, like I say, you create for you, and you don't worry about what other people. If you're happy with it, you be happy with it, and I'm sure. I'm sure they're not as crappy as you make them out to be. We all create crappy pieces every now and then. So that's an idea. This is just a quick way for me to get some color on these pieces before I go in and add the actual color. So we're kind of at a standstill here. I normally would add, I would normally would take my heat gun and blast that and dry it, but I won't do that live because that would be a very annoying sound. So I think I'll go in. I'm just trying to think of my next steps, my next process. Why this is drying. So how about we go in and Imgur is where I post my step by. Yes, I've seen your step by step build out albums for sure, and they're very helpful. I know you have a lot of in process photos, which is extremely helpful for anybody in dial making. Just seeing that process. So actually, so I have this Vallejo Thick Mud. I also have, I just opened my industrial mud, and this one actually is all set up as solid as a rock. So I had about half left in there, but I guess this particular one you have to use up fairly quick. About crappy builds when I first started last December. My first build was not the best. No, I mean, I'll about, yeah. You know, to be honest with you, I can't tell you how many builds I've ruined just by trying different techniques. I mean, you'd be silly to think you're going to just sit down and create a masterpiece. It's like anything else. It's trial and error. It's practice. But I think what I try to stress is even though it doesn't come out the way you like it or the way you expect it to, I try to express to you to enjoy the process of creating, enjoy, like, you know, the problem solving, enjoy, you know, putting color onto things, and enjoy, you know, adding a nice wash, and enjoy the process, and that's why I don't rush and go crazy with my builds, because I really like to sit back and enjoy the process of creating. And then when I finish them and I'm fairly happy with how it looks, and I move on to the next one, and then I enjoy that process. So enjoy the process. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. You're going to have some crappy builds. You're going to have some successes and some failures. That's just part of the hobby. It's just part of life. So I have some thick mud, and we're going to add I wanna add a. I'm trying to think if I should add this now. You know what? Let's do a dry brush. I'll do a quick little. We'll do a quick little dry brush. So, but yeah, this is my process. This is just some of the things that I do, and I know when you put yourself out there on YouTube, you open yourself up any kind of social media platform. You open yourself up to trolls and criticism and things like that, which is you kind of have to expect it, and then just because you are going to get it. That's just the way life is today. So you just take it in stride. So I'm not going to do so much. I wonder if I should add a little. See, this is just to give you an idea of my process, folks. I'm just trying to think of the texture I want. Do I just want to add a dry brush, or do I want to add, more or less some more texture and some more areas of like mud and things like that. So I'm not quite sure what I want to do. So, but thank you. I appreciate that. I haven't learned a lot. Fair play. I do love the process I'm doing. I hate how these comments disappear. All messages. All right, there we go. That is building material. What is your go-to? Especially with styrene sheets. Yeah, I just started playing around with some styrene. And I like my go-to material probably is half-inch foam from Home Depot. I don't always use the 1-inch. I lately been using the half-inch. I used to use half-inch foam from Hobby Lobby, but I kind of gotten away from that particular foam board. So I like foam. I like to. Hello, kitty. My cat is my cat. Say hi. He's so. Yeah, you know how cats are. They just get into everything and nosy and got to be part of everything you're doing. So yeah, I like to use all kinds of different materials with my build. So actually, this is drying a lot quicker than I had anticipated. So let's do some city steel. Let's just play around. So I have these Vallejo model color paints, and because this build, normally I use just craft paint, but because this build is so small, I'll use a little bit of good quality paint, just to keep the bottle fresh and things like that. So we'll just come in and add some city steel to these I-beams, and even though the brown isn't completely dry, it still adds a little bit of variation. So I'll give this a couple coats. Oh yeah, no, please. I'd rather talk to you, Doth Watsis, than sit here and paint. And I'd rather talk to you. And this is what this is about: connecting and talking. It's what I like. That's why I'm doing going live, because I do connect with folks. I try to answer all the comments, but there's nothing like just talking real time. So no, you're not distracting me. Trust me. My cat is distracting me. And my stomach is distracting me because I'm starting to get hungry, and it's almost time for supper here. So I gotta find something to eat. But yeah, this just gives you an idea of my process. So this is just City Steel by Vallejo. If you guys can see, I like to use these sheets of foam I found at Michael's. Well, 79 great size crates. Yeah, I would love to see. Hello, Mr. Bill Boyne. Thank you for joining. Sorry I didn't give any heads up, but just kind of spur of the moment. Yeah, if you find that, and especially if you find material that you enjoy. Hello, Chris. How you doing, sir? 79 cents. You can't beat that. And if it's good for structures and prop pieces, then yeah. Yeah, wipe them out. Yeah, stock up. Stock up. Find that go-to material that that you enjoy working with. So let's see. The sheets are 9 inch. Wow. I'm making the build as much as I do building the diary. Okay. Yep. God, I can't stand how I can't see the comments. They go away. Building the diary, I get some really positive feedback on them, and I makes it, yeah, definitely, definitely, especially, like you say, the amount of time that you're willing to put into that. So that's always awesome. And your skill level and I'm talking about Mr. C, your skill level makes it enjoyable for people to watch your process. So, but that's what this community is all about: encouraging each other. Making some online friends, and just taking some time. And what's the albums are behind the scenes for diarrhea. Have you done the spray bottle? I haven't heard about the spray bottle challenge. I don't know what that is. So, Mr. Boyne, if you're just joining, I built this. I kit bashed this robot here. So I'm just making a quick little display for him. This is mostly out of Dollar Tree material. The legs move a little bit. Yeah, so I just trying to keep the creativity flowing while I'm just trying to get back into creating. So I don't Doth, what's this? I don't know the spray bottle challenge. Can you share? Thank you, Chris. Yeah, just trying to keep the creativity flowing. I was sharing earlier how we drove to Florida and my daughter moved to Florida, so yeah, so that's why I haven't been really active, and I was just trying to settle back into creating, and just went ahead and did that for creating. I'm gonna do the piping here the same sort of color. But we'll mix it up every now and then. We'll see. But this just gives you an idea of how I work. We all work differently. We all have different processes. It was 21 hours, Bill. It was way too long. I will never do it again. I'd rather fly than drive. When you fly from Massachusetts to Florida, you get there in about 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45 minutes. And to drive, it took 2.5 days of several hours. So, yeah, I'll never do it again. I'm good. I'd rather just hop on a plane. Trust me. I can't think of anything more stressful than highways. They get so busy and people tailgate, and it's crazy. I don't know. That's just me. Well, I'm somewhat of a baby, but I drove from my home state of Ohio to my residency in Colorado. 23 hours. Wow. 2 days? You did that in 2 days? 23 hours? So what's that? 11.5 hours a day? Damn. Plastic spray. Oh, okay. Oh, that'd be cool. Bill, I like Bill making stuff. I watch him. Yeah, but I haven't seen that video. I'll have to check that out. That would be cool to do. He makes some really cool stuff. I'm trying to think of the other gentleman that inspired me about scratch building some robots and mechs and things like that. There's a lot of really good creators out there that scratch build way better things than what I could imagine doing. So I'm just gonna come in with some Napa Red, and I'll do a little bit of the brickwork, just to, and it still looks a little wet, but that's okay. I'm not going for like a perfect look. I'm just trying to add. I'm just trying, and it actually looks a little pink right now, and that's not what I really want. So I'll just come in later with maybe a little bit of darker color. But I'm just trying to give this a little bit of variety in the paint, so I can somewhat see how it may pop. So just to give you an idea. But like I say, I'm just going for a little bit of realism and just playing around. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Like I say, and even for me, this is just to try. It's a smaller piece, but it's a way for me to try different techniques. So, like this thick mud, I'm gonna try to do that. Heritage brick by America. I like it. Too bad it does not come in a big bottle. Okay, I think I have some of that. And you know what, Bill? Maybe I'll switch over to that. Yep, I do. Heritage. So let's... Heritage brick. So let's check it out. Because I think I'm going to like that a lot better than I like that Napa Red. And that, you're right, that Heritage brick is a good go-to. Oh, yeah. Look at the difference. But, yeah, good call, Bill. That's the Napa Red. Actually, probably didn't shake it up well enough, but that's definitely not the brick color I'm looking for. And that's the Americana Heritage brick, which is really good call, which is a perfect color that I like. So, and that's the thing. Normally, I probably would take the time and just look over my paints and just see. I'm kind of just grabbing. Of course, yeah, I appreciate the recommendation. Americana paints, I get them at Hobby Lobby. A lot of times, Hobby Lobby will have a sale for 30% off their craft paint, and that's when I usually. Americana is pretty much my favorite of the craft paints because it comes already. It's a good saturation, and it comes already. You don't have to water it down. I find like Folk Art, I like Folk Art a lot, but I find I have to dilute Folk Art quite a bit because it's a thicker paint, which is a good thing. But if you want, right out of the bottle ready, Americana is a good choice. But I get mine at Hobby Lobby. I imagine you can get it at Michael's. Used to be able to get it at AC Moore, but they closed. That really motivated me from you. Motivated me from you. Words about building dioramas for yourself only. Yep, absolutely. I mean, I do somewhat miss the internet and things like that, and the inspiration, but ultimately, build what you love because your passion for what you love is going to show through your work, and that's what you're going for. If you're building something to please somebody else and you're not really into it, then it's going to be probably disappointing because your heart's not in it. I know for me, that's why I don't do commissions. I've been asked to do commissions. I think I've done 1 or 2 commissions. I haven't done many. If anything, I might build and then just throw it up on eBay, and if somebody likes it, they'll buy it. But I find when I do commissions, I'm building for somebody else. And I mean, sometimes you got folks that will give you, you can put your own twist on things and do what you like. But yeah, but that's why I don't do commissions, because number one, I do take a while, and number two, what people ask, I may not really want to create. And I really don't want to take the time and the effort to put into, creating for somebody else. And there's always that fear of them being disappointed with the outcome. So I don't do commissions. I'll build and maybe throw it up on eBay if I no longer want it, and then somebody can buy it there. And a lot of times when I like the Star Wars industrial science fiction build, that took me 3 weeks, and I mean, I only, but I only charged the gentleman $100 with free shipping. It only went to New York, but there was a lot of time and effort in that, and yeah. But that's just the kind of guy. I don't want to overcharge somebody, but I also don't want to sell my own time, uh, cheap. Time is valuable. I enjoy like I said, I enjoy the process. I love diorama making, so to me, it's not really work. But if anything, it's you just kind of want some compensation for your time, and then most compensation for the materials that go into. But some people, get quite a few commissions and make a lot of money doing it, and that's awesome. But you got to be really you got to have the mindset for that, and I really don't. I don't have the mindset for that. So yeah, so Mr. C, create for you, and you can tell in people's pieces that and that's what I try to portray in my pieces. I try to let my passion and I try to give 110% into the pieces that I want to. So, but good call on that Americana, Bill. Heritage brick, good call. So I'll let that dry a little bit. I got some on the terrain there, but that's okay. I'm going to go in and add some mud and maybe some. I'd like to try some UV resin to create a little bit of puddling and things like that. I'm already an hour and 12 minutes into this, and you folks have stuck along here. I appreciate it. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate everybody commenting, and I really do. I know I tend to repeat myself, but I'm trying to do better at not repeating. But I do have the habit of rambling. When you think everybody's interested in what you have to say, and then you find out, you know what? Not many people are. That's okay. But all right, let's do a little. So this is just a little bit of dry brushing here on this rock, and I'm just going to come in, do a little dry brushing on the terrain. And this is kind of a heavy. I didn't wipe it off all that much. But this gives you an idea of capturing. If you guys saw my dry brushing that I did on the skulls, that was a fun little build, that torch piece with the skulls on it. I enjoyed that. It was different, it was creative, it was a fun process. So yeah, and that's the beauty of creating for you. The process is fun. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I get aggravated quite a bit when something you're trying to do doesn't work out. But when things work out, it's a really good feeling. Especially when you try a new technique and that technique tends to work out for you, and you add it to your repertoire of diorama making. And that's why I like to try so many different materials, so many different ways of going about things. And sometimes the best bet is to keep it simple, stupid. And I say that to myself all the time. But I always try to push the envelope a little bit more for realism and like I say, sometimes I can get very heavy-handed in my weathering, and sometimes it captures what I want it to, and sometimes it really doesn't. So in some cases, keeping it simple definitely works a lot better than trying to go for that ultra realism, especially in like a smaller piece like this. So I'm just doing a quick dry brush, but we're gonna stick with me. We're gonna add some of that. I'm gonna add some of that thick mud, and we'll see we'll see how it looks. This is kind of a heavy dry brush. I can always tone it down with a bit of a wash, and that's what I think we'll do. That's okay. I'm just trying to do this while I don't know if this would be the exact order in which I would do things, but because I'm live and I just kind of want to keep the content going a little bit, I just want to keep things moving along so you guys can have something somewhat maybe interesting to look at rather than hear me babble. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all your support and things like that. And next time I will give more of a heads up. I say that all the time, but then I'm like, well, maybe I just feel like going live right now and see who tags along. And even if I only get one person, I'll still do. I tried to go live the other week and I didn't give any heads up, and I think it was a Friday night, and nobody really showed up, so I just canceled that, which is fine. I don't know who I would expect to show up on a Friday night to listen to me, but I appreciate you guys now. So that's just a little bit of a dry brush. That's just to give you an idea of this particular terrain piece. It's nothing earth-shattering, but this guy can go pretty much anywhere on here. Let me, but that's just to somewhat give you an idea of what I'm looking for. So what would be cool is maybe to have, but this piece isn't large enough to make like something shooting out of there, and maybe putting a tea light under here and making some flame. I mean, the sky's the limit with what you want to do. In this case, I just decided to keep it somewhat simple. But yeah, you could go as far as you want. And this is pretty cool because I was able to make it move around a bit. So I just have to find that sweet spot and then glue him in somewhat. So I kind of want him angling towards the debris, somewhat looking down, somewhat like that. What do you guys think? That look good? That particular positioning? Let me know what you think, and then I'll glue them in right there. If not, I'll move them around a little bit and we'll decide. So yeah, I think this would be a cool little desk display, you know. And I like to do that with different creations that I make. I like to do different, you know, I'll put it on my desk and just take a glance over at it. I mean, it's kind of unfortunate that pretty much I'm the only one that sees it. I wish there was a way, like a local library or something, where you know, you could display your work. But yeah, I'm happy with just, I think I like this particular setup here. So let me glue him in. So get a little bit of hot glue, a little bit of hot glue, and the old saying, voila, he is in place. So now the fun can begin with the mud, and I can go in and really, and this is the part I hate about hot glue is see the stringiness of it. I mean, I can go in with a little bit of a flame or a lighter, and you can even go back in with the tip of your, but that kind of defeats the purpose. But all right, so let's go in with the mud and let's check things. Let's see how this Vallejo mud works. I've used it before. I'm pretty happy with it. So let me straighten this guy out. I don't think hot glue is the best procedure for gluing this guy in, but it'll suffice for now until I get into So, like I say, this is Vallejo Thick Mud. This one at least is still pliable. The other one, the industrial Thick Mud, was not pliable, so it kind of... But this one's really, it really does look like mud. That's the idea. So I don't even know if this brush is the best way to apply this. Probably not, because I'm probably better off with, like, if anything, a thinner brush that I can get into the smaller places. I mean, maybe you could do it with a toothpick. I guess you can do it with anything. So let's try a smaller brush. But that gives you, I just want to kind of build it up around. I hope that's, is that focused? Those, I mainly use barrel paints from Walmart and Major's grocery store. That glue is in my head all the time. It's 11:40. Oh, geez. Hey, I missed that. Well, I missed all the comments here. I'm sorry, guys. Oh, man. I'm sorry. The budget Jedi on Tube has displayed many of his Star Wars. That would be cool to display at your local library. Or you know what too? If you got a local comic shop in the area, that would be fun to maybe make some displays for a local comic shop. You know, and if you want to do commissions, that could be a really good way to get your name out there, and it'd probably be you would eliminate the shipping cost, because the shipping for dioramas can be very expensive. So if you can eliminate some of that shipping by maybe working up some local customers, the money can be even better for you. But I mean, I don't knock anybody that likes to do commissions by any means. It is a great way to make some money and get your work out there. It's actually it's a fantastic way for a second type of income. But like I say, I've already shared why I do what I do, and if I took commissions, it would pretty much be getting away from why I create. But that's just me. But it is a great way of making some money and getting your work out there. So I mean, this mud isn't too bad. I think it's because it's going against a very bright highlight of. I've thought about asking. Come on, where are you? I thought about asking the shop I get my black shoes if they would be interested in displaying some. Yeah, you should. Yeah, definitely post online. I mean, that's probably the best way to get your work out there, is post online and develop your own following. Not everybody's going to follow you. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, which is perfectly fine. But you'll find your niche. You'll find the people that love your work and follow you. Absolutely. And you don't get discouraged by people having more subscribers or followers or likes. Don't let that kind of craziness discourage you from doing what you love to do. I know I keep repeating myself about that, but I can't say it enough, honestly. And stay away from the talks. I mean, even in diorama making and in action figure collecting, you're going to run into some toxic people, and you just stay away from that. You're going to run into a lot of arrogant people about, you know, they could be really good at what they do, which is fantastic. But then, and then you have to kind of look past the attitude and the arrogance that comes along with being that good. I mean, after all, we're only creating, we're making dioramas for action figures. I mean, we're not changing the world. But you run into that everywhere you go. People who always think probably more highly of themselves than what they should. Or they're always so quick to leave criticism. I had one guy that left a comment on one of my videos, and I think it was my diorama supply video, which, I mean, I get. That was an older video. But he made a comment about, you don't wash your hands, you're working upside down, you know, if you don't like it, you know, you don't have to watch it. But no, I didn't wash my hands because I was in the middle of creating, you bozo. And that's just that's just how my thought process goes. People, I have a low tolerance for trolls and bullies, and I really do. I made one video where I didn't do any talking. All I did was I added some text with some music, and he goes, "What? You don't know how to talk?" One of the comments, "You don't know how to talk?" And I says, "Why? You don't know how to read?" And I got fresh, and he goes, "Oh, you're a wise ass, aren't you?" I says, "Yeah, yep, but I'll give you the same amount of respect you give me. I'm not gonna." And then I end up blocking them, and because sometimes all they want to do is criticize and things like that. But this mud gives a pretty cool effect, but it doesn't really blend in with the particular color, the color scheme I picked. So let me give you guys an up close of that particular mud effect. So now this is, and I'll end with this because I know it's getting late and I'm getting hungry, and so I'll end with this. So let's see what happens. And this is what I mean about trying to try different things. So I'm trying to look for my black UV light, which is right here. And this is UV resin. So I'm going to add some of this to a cup. Let's see if I have a clean cup. And I've never done this before. This is just a little bit of an experiment. And like I say, this is just for the fact of experimenting. So let's pour, let me shake this. I don't know if I need to. Let's pour a little bit of UV resin in here. Just a little bit. And then let's get silly and add a little bit of this mud in the resin and see what kind of, let's see if I can get more of a liquid kind of effect, or if I'm just going to get crap. So just mixing it in, and actually it's giving it a halfway decent texture. So that's mixed in with a little bit of resin. You can also go in and add a little bit of paint. I wouldn't a lot because this is already kind of capturing the kind of, so this really, by adding the resin, it really chunks it up a little bit. So let's see. Let's see what kind of effect we can get right here. So it definitely thickens it really well. So let me add a little bit of the mud on. Actually, I think this is going to work out fairly well. So I don't know if you guys can see that particular, oops, sorry, texture, but it gives it a really good, it thickened it up a lot. So I'm interested in see what it's going to look like when I cure it. with the UV light. And this is, like I say, it's all part of it's all just part of experimenting and see what works. And it's just something you can keep in the back of your mind. Let's add it to this particular foot here. So when you're up close like that, you really get an appreciation for the textures and the details that can come with this particular build. But I mean, that you could add some, you know, to the legs of the mech and give it that. So let's cure those areas and let's see what they look like. This stuff does not take very long to cure. A little bit of a UV light, so we'll cure it. Can maybe even come in while it's curing and maybe add a little more. See, it's pretty much already cured. That's already cured, and it actually worked out pretty well. So that's already hard as a rock. So, oh, sorry folks. Let's go ahead and cure this part. So I like to cure further away and then maybe move in close just to get it going. It does produce a lot of heat when you cure the resin. So yeah, that actually looks the nice part of this is I don't know if you see how it looks wet. It looks like wet mud, and when actually it's hot as a rock. So all that right there is cured, but it still gives the illusion that it's wet, and you can get the same idea over here on the mech's foot. I'm sorry guys, I'm just trying to, it gives the same idea on the mech's foot. It looks, that's all cured, but it looks wet. So yeah, it achieved what I wanted it to. So let me go in with a bigger brush and let me scoff the rest of this and just come in and paint it on rather than dab it on. So after, you kind of have to apply it right away, because what's happening is it looks like the resin's getting a little stringy, but that could work in your favor by adding texture. So that gives you an idea. I think I'm going to cover this whole piece in this particular process. Or maybe I'll just do in certain areas. Excuse me. All right, so let me cure that. If you guys haven't tried the UV resin, it really does wonders for like puddles and glass and things like that. And you can get it fairly cheap on Amazon. So that's all cured, but it's all cured, but it still kind of looks wet, and that's the idea I'm going for. So let me see if I can zoom this in. I hope you guys can see that. But even right here, it really, I put it on maybe a little too thick right there, but that should give you the idea of what that does with the mixed resin. So I hope this was somewhat. I'm missing the dong small display. I tried. I appreciate that, Bill. The Briscoe, thank you for coming on and looking. That you post your work. Haha, I totally get that. Same boat I am in, Bill. Yeah, I see, and this is the whole reason why I love going live, is so you guys can talk. You guys can talk amongst each other. And I've seen the resin work. I don't know if I want to mess with that though, but it does look great. Yeah, it's not for everybody. But like I say, I'm kind of a sucker for new materials and things like that. I think I'm going to add a little bit more resin with the mud. And I'm going to do one last pot over here by the rock and uh, by the other mech leg. And we'll see what happens. So, might be a little too much, but that's okay. All trial and error, guys. I mean, this could have totally ruined this particular piece, but I'm pretty happy with the results. The only thing I think is maybe I put it on a little bit too thick, but it's not a deal breaker. And that's just how I am. I'm kind of my own worst enemy, my own worst critic. Probably looks fine, but to my eye, if it doesn't look right, I get a little... And the hot glue is not holding. So let me go in and let's paste this on. But yeah, I think I'm just going to paint it on. I mean, you can add a little water too, probably. I don't know. But it's become a little bit stringy. But that's okay. It's capturing the look that I want. Maybe even add some up here. You just play around. You see what works and you go from there. Is it perfect? No. Not by any means. But it's definitely it's definitely acceptable. Which is fine by me. I don't work for perfection. I seen the resume. I took a break from doing brickwork. I got burnt out on it. So yeah, brickwork is... Yeah, you just kind of have to put maybe a movie on, a podcast, some good music, and then just carve away. To kind of get lost in the process. And I say enjoy the process, but Bill, you're right. That's one process that isn't 100% enjoyable by any means. And you know what? I really don't do a lot of brickwork. Maybe, but I like doing. But I think my brickwork has improved. Absolutely. And you're going to improve over time. You do something enough, you're going to improve. It's just the process of improving is not to get discouraged and then hang it all up. And that's why I say to try to enjoy the process, because when you it's like artwork and drawing. If you're not going to see improvement every single day, you'll see it with different pieces, and you do something enough, you'll get good at it. And that's it. Let me add a little over here. Good, I'm glad, Bill. Yeah, you keep it in mind, because we all struggle. You're not the only one. Trust me. You are not the only one, sir. The struggle is real, even in the hobby, and trying to learn. And and I'll end with this. Let's cure this. I'll end with this. And I don't compare myself to other builders. I admire a lot of builders and their talent, their skill level. But you know what? I don't work like them. My mind may work a little differently. They may build a lot better than I may paint better than they do. We all do different things better than each other. So at the end of the day, you build for you. I can't say that enough. Don't compare yourself to others. I mean, admire other people's work and comment and follow, but don't compare yourself, because you're your own individual with your own creativity. And try to remember that. If you compare yourself, you're going to get discouraged and disappointed, and that's really not what you want to. There's enough things in life that will do that for you, never mind your hobby. So enjoy the hobby, create for you. And I really appreciate all you guys. 100% for hanging in here and dealing with me and listening. And you're good. You're good folks. I appreciate this community. Okay, guys. So how about we end it there? And thank you, Mr. Boyne. Have a good night. I appreciate you always being there and from the beginning and always reaching out to me. The Briscoe, thank you. Mr. Hawkins, all you folks. Mr. C, if you're still here. Yeah, and for you folks that didn't comment, I appreciate you watching. Mr. Sabina, if I even pronounced that correctly. You guys have a good night, okay? I'm going to go chow on something, find something to eat, and enjoy the rest of my night and maybe finish this build up. All right, thank you guys. Enjoy your night and enjoy your weekend, okay? Thank you. I don't even know how to shut this off. I'll figure it out.